Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to another Pokemon Master video. So, today we're gonna quickly talk about this rerun Scout, right? After this, we're gonna stream some legendary gauntlets, so make sure to join. It should be fun. So, this Pokefair Scout Pokefair rerun, it happens with all the, well, I mean, so far it happened with all. We have sample size of 2, which is not a very high sample size, but with every single legendary gauntlet that came out so far, they've ran one of these, right? So, it's basically a Pokefair rerun with 3 units that are generally decent against the legendary arenas in the gauntlet, right? Over here being Diantha, because Latios is weak to fairy, right? Then you have Ingo over here to change weather, and there really isn't anything, honestly, for like Azelf, so they just put classic red in here, which is a solid support, I guess, right? So, anyways, let's talk about it. So, it's 3 of them. Right, Ingo obviously is very, very good, right? One of the top supports in the game. Gives you Sandstorm, which is really, really nice. Gives you attack and special attack buffs, crit buffs, right? Gives free move next, which is really, really nice as well. Like, this guy is he's just good, man. He just gives you a bit of everything that you really need. This is my egg farming team, by the way, for wondering. Right, so let me just yeah, so he gives you a lot of that. Mod-Type could debuff the opponent's accuracy. Not a huge deal, but it's something, right? Decent stats overall, but you also have, where is it? Sedimentary, right? Which gives you an extra 30% increase to your defense, special defense in Sandstorm, which obviously you do have, right? So that's always going to be really, really good. He's not the best sand setter in terms of just like setting sand, because he has like, what, only an MP refresh 2 on the Sandstorm, right? And doesn't have Sand Extender like Raihan, but he's probably the best unit that sets sand, if that makes sense, right? So he's not very good of a sand setter, although, I mean, he does the job, right? I think Excdrill has like MP first 3 on sand, and then like Raihan 2, he also has extension. But of all the Sandstorm setters, he's probably the best unit, right, to do it. He has a potion over here, which is really, really nice. Sandy Pep Rally is decent as well, right? Gives you team speed buffs. And he's just overall really, really good. Obviously, not a big downside, but like, he's a support. You don't really need to do damage, but like, he does like 0 damage, so if you care, I guess, like, it's Mud Slap, so he doesn't do any damage. But like, who cares? Who cares? Everything else he does is so great. Literally, who cares about the damage he does? Honestly, right? So, there's that. In his grid, he has some solid stuff here, Mastery for Potion, obviously. You have stuff like Gritty Guardian, which is decent as well, right? To increase your own defenses. Soothing Sand is nice. He's just a very, very good support in general, right? So moving on to Classic Red over here. Also very, very good support, right? Gives you super effective up, which is, in my opinion, the big thing on his kit, right? So also does have sync move countdown, decrease in this as well. He's probably one of the best units in the game. Alongside Xerneas for Battle Villa. So if you guys are still struggling with Battle Villa sometimes, this guy destroys Battle Villa, right? Because of the fact that he has a max move, which replenishes your MP after using an MP's, right? So you use your crit buffing, right? Super effective up next, train a move, and then you could replenish it straight up, right? And you could get to use a max move every single turn. Or not every single turn, but every single floor, I guess, right? So he's really, really good for Villa. And also, you also have the mini potions all that you could also refresh in Villa as well, right? Rock Smash debuff the opponent's defenses. You also have a guaranteed debuff if you do pick up on a roll on his grid, right? So there's that as well. Body Slam could paralyze, I guess, so there's that. Max regen if you care, right? Team alert, mine is kind of whatever. And this is pretty solid as well, right? For some special defense buffs. Pretty tanky. His big downside is he is kind of slow, right? He is definitely kind of slow. Well, he's not like incredibly slow, but he's definitely not fast either, right? He's definitely not very fast, and he also does have the issue that even though he is not very fast, he also does have 2 moves that are both 2 gauges. So in longer battles, he will have a bit of a speed issue, unfortunately, or gauges issue for your team, which is not very good. But outside of that, just a very, very solid support. He's very, very good for Master Mode as well, especially if you throw in the combo with him and a Striker AoE nuker, right? On type, that's very, very devastating. Generally should destroy all Master Mode stages, right? With no, you know, not too much issue over there, right? And moving on to the last one, Diantha is kind of, she's fine. I'm not a huge fan personally of her kit. Like, she's still probably the strongest Fairy Striker. Yeah, she's still the best Fairy Striker, although very low bar because all the other Fairy Strikers in this game suck, right? But she's a good, solid Fairy type Striker. There's not too much to it, I guess. Moonblast does get better because it is a 4 gauge, right? You know, extra 50% damage on Moonblast, but costs 1 gauge more. I don't even know, man. She's just okay. Yeah, Fairy Power 5 after your Mega. She has some really uninteresting sync move or sync nose, right? Stuff like Devastation, bit of a sync nuke, right? Double down there as well, I guess. But yeah, she's okay. Like, she'll get the job done if you need to beat a Fairy Weak stage, but I mean, everyone has Xerneas. Not that Xerneas is nowhere as good as a damage dealer as Gardevoir is, but, you know, generally Xerneas should handle Fairy Weak stages with much ease, right? So, yeah, I guess those are those three. In terms of if you should summon on this banner or not, these are good units, right? These are for sure good units. At least, you know, again, Classic Red and Ingo are definitely very good units. Diantha's, that's still not bad. Right, if you're really, really down bad on Fairy type damage dealers, she would be a good option. But I also do think there's probably better Fairy options that you could probably try to save for instead if you really need a Fairy type damage dealer. Something like a Summer's Marnie would be nice. Palatine's Serena is solid. Annie Lily does also have Fairy type damage options as well, right? Maybe, or when we get that, you know, Fairy Zone setter, right? Eventually, maybe, right? But yeah, at the moment, that doesn't really seem super worth it. I mean, the other two are definitely very, very good, right? Let's see, what are the rates here? 1.5% each, so you do have a 4.5% chance of getting at least one of them, which is decent rates, but I'd say, you know, the first, again, if these are your favorite characters, then you should go for them, but otherwise, I'd say maybe try to focus on banners like this first, right? Because she's, for multiple, like, she's the straight up, arguably the best damage dealer in the game, entire game, right? Also, she is a Master Fair, and so far Master Fairs have not rerun very often. Ingo has come back pretty recently. Red was just here, right? Like 2 weeks ago or something, right? And he's back again for some reason. So those rerun really, really fast nowadays, right? Pokefairs do rerun quite fast, and also since like they've been doing these with the legendary gauntlets, I'd expect like Pokefairs to rerun a lot more with every, you know, one of these legendary gauntlets. So there's that as well. I mean, the Annie units are still good as well, right? But the issue with the Annie units is, oh, that's nice. No, I'm not 100% sure how they're gonna do them. Are they going to have them rerun as often as the other Pokefairs? Or are they going to be because they have the seasonal thing and not like rerun as often? We'll see, but those units are nice, but we could also wait for, you know, what's coming up next month. Although I don't have super high hopes for next month, but we'll see what comes up next month first before you have to spend on this. Plus, I mean, even if you do need these for the gauntlet's going to be here for, you know, much longer. Before we know or potentially get rumors of what's coming out next month first. So anyways, that's me on this one. I guess I'll be let me guys think in the comments down below. Like, share this video on our channel for some more Palmouse's content. We'll stream some Gauntlet after this, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one then.